In this vlog, we are going to be looking at how to set homework for a lesson that isn't finished. And what I mean by isn't finished is that you haven't covered the entire material within that lesson. So when setting homework, it is a company requirement that we do not send a screenshot of any of the course material as homework. We should be creating our own and attaching it to the review. And homework is a compulsory thing to set, even if it is the homework that is featured in the Picaro lesson or the Think lesson or any lesson that you are teaching, or you should attach your own created worksheet or homework slide. It is really important to set homework for your buddies so that the next teacher has something to check in the lesson, and it always keeps the correct format of each lesson. If a buddy is expecting homework and nothing is attached, it can be really demotivating when the next teacher asks for their homework and they have to say, well, they haven't done it. So now I'm going to show you a few examples of how to set your own homework. So here we have a design for the homework. This was made on PowerPoint. And what you can do is you can feature within that speech bubble what you would like them to do. So let's say, for example, they have just learned a lesson about household objects. You could write there in that speech bubble, please find and draw a kettle, a chair, a table, and a television. And then they can bring it to their next lesson and use a full sentence saying, this is a, and then they've got their drawing. Here is another example of maybe a lesson that you've featured fruits or vegetables in your lessons, or even just food. Freddie the farmer needs your help. Please write one sentence about each of the following fruits to help Freddie sell as many as possible. So now you're using you're promoting or prompting them to use their creative minds, their imagination. For example, you've given them an example so they know what they should be doing. I love big green apples. And they've got apples, lemons, and oranges. And depending on the lesson, maybe they have just learnt bananas, watermelons, and limes. You can change that up as you go along. So this is an example of a bit of an older level or higher level buddy. Please write down 4 sentences that include these words: talked, walked, clean, cooked. Cleaned, cooked. So there we go. There's just a nice simple design. This was actually a design on PowerPoint, a free design, and I just added my own instructions. This way the Bradys also know exactly what to do. You've put it in nice and neat, and they know exactly what to do, and you can upload this to the next lesson if you are the next teacher. If not, the next teacher can download it and re-upload it to the classroom. Now this is one of my all-time favorites. I know exactly what lesson it features, and I know the song because it's one of my favorites. But this is a really fun one if they have learned behind, between, inside, outside, under, on top. Please write 3 sentences describing where the cat is. And I've given them an example because it was a lower level Brady. So I was a little bit creative and actually made my own images and sent this to them, and it was such a fun activity. Something like this could even be used as an external resource or as an extension resource in your next lesson. Here is another simple design. I featured some of the objects that they had learnt about in the lesson, and I said, please look at the objects and tell me what they are using this is a. So when they do their homework, they will do that, and then by the time they get to the lesson, they should be fluent in A, using the full sentence and identifying bag, sock, duck, dog, jug. And there we go. All this was made on PowerPoint, and you can find the templates on the Padlet. And again, another example of more of a higher level homework. Although all of the ones I've showed you are perfect for higher and lower level, you could just change up some of the imagery and the instructions. So for this one, please write 5 sentences about your friends who can play musical instruments or who play musical instruments. And I gave an example of the type of sentence I was wanting. Emily plays the piano. She is very good at it and started playing when she was 5 years old. So that's great. They can look at the images for some inspiration. They're creating sentences, and it's really fun to look at. and to incorporate in your next lesson. And there you go. There's just a quick rough guide on how to set homework within your lessons if you have not reached the homework slide. And of course, as I said, it is a company requirement that we provide our breadies with a continuous learning experience and homework that does match the coursework. Look, image, quality is really important. I hope you found this useful. Goodbye for now.